In this video, I'm going to show you two big mistakes that new songwriters make, and some really simple things you can do to avoid them and finish writing your first song. Welcome in. My name's Matt, and on this channel, I help people to write their first song. Does this look familiar? A notebook full of potential song ideas, but when you dig a little deeper, all you find are scraps. I'm a guitarist, so I love coming up with chord progressions and riffs. Most of them have never been written down or recorded, and now I can't remember them. But occasionally, I'd write them down or record them on the computer. The problem is, despite creating these hundreds of ideas, I've probably only written a handful of songs that use them. Some of them would have been good starting points for a song, but it almost feels like I've wasted my time by recording them. Now compare those scraps to these hookpad projects. They contain whole songs, which have all of the sections written out in the correct order. They also have chord progressions and melodies, with all of the nuance of chord and note duration contained within them. I could give these to another musician and then they could perform the song. Or I could export it as a MIDI and take it into audio software to create a production in any style that I like. Hookpad's a great tool for this sort of work. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out for free. Clearly, a finished song is better than a small idea hidden in a notebook. This reveals one of the biggest mistakes that new and experienced songwriters make. They don't finish writing enough songs. But why does this happen? And what can be done to avoid this? A lot of wannabe songwriters overcomplicate things. They worry that people will judge their songs harshly. They're trying to write songs like the ones they enjoy listening to. But what is often overlooked is how much work goes into the music that we listen to. It has to be written by at least one person, but often several people have an input in the process. These people will usually have a lot of experience in writing music. Then it is practiced and refined for performance and recording. This will be by musicians who have a range of musical insights and history. This process can also shape a song's structure and its sound, as adjustments are made over time. And then there's the professional recording equipment and engineers who polish and shine the music. You're never going to compete with this as a beginner. In order to avoid this problem and finish more songs, you need to keep in mind that done is better than perfect. Just have the goal of taking ideas and turning them into finished songs. The more songs you are able to finish, the better you will get at songwriting, and you'll become more confident in your ability to write songs. The secret to doing this is to keep it really simple. So how would you do this in practice? Everything depends on having a basic structure you can work your ideas into. Regardless of where you start the songwriting process, knowing that you just need 2 or 3 parts for your song can make life a lot easier. For example, focus on using your best ideas for the chorus and then write a verse and you pretty much have an idea for a song. You can reuse the chorus music as an intro and fit it into the tried and tested intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus/outro structure. The bridge can be a unique section or a solo or instrumental break over verse chords. Don't worry about this being too simple or boring. Many great songs follow this layout and it hasn't stopped them from being loved by people. Remember, our goal here is to finish more songs. Not agonising over structure can remove a hurdle towards this aim. The next thing to simplify in the writing process for each of these song sections. This will depend on what you already have written. What was your original idea? A chord progression, a riff or a melody? Or even some lyrics? If you're starting from scratch, then I recommend the following order. Write the chords first, then the melody, and finally the lyrics. Start by making some chord progressions. To begin with, I recommend just copying some tried and tested progressions. Like the song structure, the goal here is to keep it simple and finish writing some songs. If this is completely new to you, then you can try the following simple progressions, which are in the key of C major. Experiment with moving these different chords around within the progression and sections of your song. Also try and vary how long each chord is played for. This can create interest and surprise without having to learn any new chords, which is another hack for writing more complete songs. Once you have some chords, then start to make a melody. The easiest way to do this is by using notes that are in the chord playing below. As each chord changes, you have a new set of notes to make your melody from. For example, I could take the earlier progression, D minor, G major, C major, and make a melody that looks like this. The notes in each chord are highlighted above to show you what my choices for notes were. This is HookPad I mentioned earlier, if you want to try it out with the link in the description. As with the chords, think about mixing up note lengths to try and bring in variation. After this, you just need some lyrics, if your song requires them. Lyrics are the most difficult for most songwriters. I suggest the following approach. Set a timer for at least 10 minutes and just write. Use a pen and paper and write down every thought that comes to mind. Turn off your filter and just go for it. Then once the timer is up, you should have at least a couple of A4 pages worth of words. Then go through what you've written and highlight any words or phrases that stand out to you. These will hopefully reveal a theme for your song. Now start to play and loop the music you wrote for your song. HookPad can help you to make this easy to do if you want. Whilst the music plays, start to think about how your words will fit with your melody. Think about how the syllables match the melody and where you might be missing some lyrics. Start to fill in the gaps, and before you know it, you'll have some lyrics for your song. If you want to learn more ways to write your first song, then like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now you've overcome the first big mistake beginner songwriters make, it's time to think about the second. I've talked about the idea of trying and failing to replicate the music of your heroes. This is often a problem for new songwriters, and so they become disillusioned. The struggle to be original can become overwhelming. How is it possible to be unique when everything has been done before? I'm going to tell you a secret now. You need to steal ideas. It doesn't matter how original you are, at least to begin with. Songwriting, like all art, is about inspiration and interpretation. And all of the great artists will have their own heroes and idols who they will have tried to imitate over the years. There's a reason that you like listening to certain types of music, so you should take that enthusiasm and continue it with your own songwriting. There are several ways you can approach this philosophy. If you are a musician, then you can learn cover songs. This is really common for beginner guitarists. By learning the chords and structures of your favourite songs in this way, you can then try and replicate them in your own songwriting. You can also try to rearrange your favourite songs. This gives you a deeper understanding of how the song works, picking out core parts of the music and applying them to a different style or sound. You can also try and write in the style of your favourite artists. Maybe they use particular types of chords or rhythmic ideas in their melodies, or maybe they always write in the same key. Try and unpick the DNA of their songs and use similar ideas in your own. One way to discover these things is with a really useful free songwriting tool. It's called the Theory Tab Database. It's curated by the same people who make HookPad and offers tens of thousands of song tabs. You can instantly listen to the songs, chords and melody played on piano or along with the YouTube video. You can then open these directly into HookPad if you want a great starting point for a new song. I've made a video showing this and 4 of the best free songwriting tools for beginners. Watch that now to steal like an artist.